Good morning, 8th grade. Welcome to our 5th week. I hope everyone is doing well. We are actually starting a new book today. I'm sorry if there's any confusion about where we're meeting. We're going to be here. Hey, Jacqueline, how you doing? I attempted Google Meet and the video quality is not good for playback at all. So until we can figure that out, I've got to stay here. Good morning, Camila. Good to see you. So we are starting a new book today. We are now in Unit 8. I will show you what that looks like. Give you a quick overview. We will be setting up a task that's due Friday. The math department has changed their requirements a little bit about how they would like us to structure online classes. So Tuesdays, I'm going to be setting up a task that'll be due Friday for our discussion and analysis. Hey, Thais, how are you? All the other days, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I will still be here, but it'll be for makeup work and office hours type work. So if you're all caught up, you're not going to have to check in unless you have a question and you want to touch base with me or Mr. Casamento. Okay, let's start with this warm-up. Please, to start off with the new book. We're going to find the area for each square. So you're looking at 4 different squares, 4 different problems, and they each have a different side length. I need you to calculate the area for each of those 4 squares, okay? As soon as you have something, let me know what you got and tell me what you did. Number 1 is 20. All right, how did you get 20, Camila? Hey, Dagny. We're starting a new book today. I multiplied and 5. Okay, tell me why you did that. I'm going to bring the warm-up to the big board so that I can start displaying your work. So we're calculating the area of each square. So, multiply 4 and 5, Camila. And anybody else, if you agree or disagree, just chime in, please. While I'm waiting for you, I'm going to take attendance. Hey, Kevin, how are you? We're starting a new book, buddy. I'm going to be really depending on you guys for your participation, so please make sure you chime in. I'm waiting for an explanation, and I'm waiting to see if people agree or disagree and why. because if there's one side is 5, all the sides have to be 5, and there are 4, so I multiplied. Okay. Camila is saying that if this is a square and this is 5, that means that all of these must also be 5. And to calculate the area, that meant that she would multiply the 4 sides by the side length of 5. All right, so now that she explained, I'd like to hear from anyone else who's here if they agree or disagree with anything that she's said. Guys, you're kind of quiet, so I'm going to ask a question. And anyone, I agree with what you said about how if it's a square and this side length is 5, that means that they all have to be 5. I agree with you there. And you said that in order to find the area, I would equals 20. Is that area? The stream is lagging for me. Okay, no problem. You could try, and it's going to be taped too. I'm recorded, so, and it'll be posted if you miss anything important. 5 plus 5 plus 5 give me area. All right, and I'll ask another question. Also, to help this out, again, I wish I was on a grid. I really need to find one. If this was on a grid on graph paper, and I had a square, what would my area be? The stream is lagging from, okay, that's the same thing. Okay, anybody? Jacqueline, Thais, Dagny, Kevin? I need you guys to participate here. It's class. And the expectation is that student participation will still be very active. Hi, Ruby. We're starting a new book. We're in Unit 8 now, but I'm on the warm-up right now. Makeup work and office hours will be any day except Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays and Fridays are going to be reserved as your class days so that we could do new material and move forward. So the question right now, in case anybody missed it, is for the warm-up, we're calculating the area for 4 different squares. And the first one, the side length of one was 5. So Camila said that, well, if it's a square and one side is 5, that means all the side lengths have to also be 5, which is true. Then she said there's 4 sides, each side 5, so 4 times 5 is 20, so the area is 20. Now I'm asking, if each box is a square unit, what's the total area? So I put up a 5 by 5 grid, and I'm asking you, what is our students present to participate? So now it's 25 square units. How'd you come up with that? Multiplied 5 times 5. Okay, you switched it up. So I'm going to ask you why you switched it up and which one do you think is correct and why. So now she's saying if you do 5 times 5, you get 25. Originally, you had said 4, so I'm curious as to what you're thinking. I'd like to know why you switched up. Why do you think this is the answer now instead of this one? You're doing a great job, by the way. And I'm not trying to give you a hard time. It's just that what you're saying is good stuff, and you're thinking about the problem, and you're coming up with a strategy. So for the benefit of everybody else out there, let's hear why you think this is correct now instead of this one. I don't know. I just counted 25. Ah, okay. So you kind of switched up strategies. When it was presented like this, and all you were given was the side length, you did 5 times 4. But then when it was presented, same information was presented. It was presented in a grid format. You simply counted them, and you got 25. So I have to ask you, which one is correct then? And you guys have to help her out, all right? She's doing a lot of work here, and I asked for you guys to agree or disagree. So she's saying that the area of this particular square is 25, because if you count each of the unit squares, you get a total of 25. So it's a total of 25 square units. These are all squares inside, even though my drawing doesn't make it look like squares. They're all each a square, one by one, and if you count each one of them, you get 25. So let's see. Kevin said the second one. Okay, I need to know why this one is the correct one. If this is the correct one, then what's this? Okay, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Remember, class is not class without you, and it's extremely boring. The second one is correct because squares all have the same sides, right? Yes, Camila said that up here. She said that if this is 5, then all of these are 5 because it's a square. So if this is the correct one, I'm looking for someone to tell me why this one is correct and this one is not, and is this anything if it's not area? So that's a lot, but I know you guys could figure it out. Because the first one, the side are longer than the top side. Actually, 5, 5, 5, 5, these sides are all equal. That was one of Camila's arguing points, and she was correct. In order for a square to be a square, each side length has to be equal, and they are here. Some of them, it might look longer because of the way I drew it. So you can't go by my drawing, you have to go by the information provided. Sorry about that. I'm gonna try to find a grid. I think it'll help us a lot, and so that if I could post not just the whiteboard, but maybe a grid also, I think it'll help us a lot. I need some time for that though. I wasn't anticipating needing one. All right, come on, guys. Come on, put those great minds together. What book are we in? Okay, I'll go ahead and review it. We're in book 8, unit 8. Ooh, that glare. There we go. Unit 8 is called Pythagorean Theorem and Irrational Numbers. So you might be saying, like, why in the world are we doing squares if we're supposed to be doing these two things that sounds really complicated? Well, because squares have a lot to do with the Pythagorean Theorem. And in 8th grade, Pythagorean Theorem is a pretty big topic. We are going to, it's already posted on Google Classroom. We're going to be looking at lesson 2, activity 3. But don't go ahead yet. This right here, we have to make sure that you guys understand this. This is what's on the agenda for today. I have to set up the task that's going to be due Friday. We're in the warm-up right now. It's taking us some time. We have 4 squares we need to calculate the area for. And then I'll take any questions for you guys because I want to make sure that you know what you're doing. All right. But right now, you guys got to come up with why this is correct for the area. And if this actually did calculate something, because if it did, I don't know what it is. Okay. Come on. I know it's early, but you guys got this. You guys are scaring me right now. Second one, because you can actually see 5 in a row. I like what you said about that. It's lagging bad for me. The video is very laggy. Same. Columns. You know how when you order like a box, it has dimensions. It has, and it has depth or height. So maybe I'll put height there. But that's a box, right? We're not looking at a box, we're looking at a square. So square has length and width. Jacqueline called them rows. The video keeps on pausing. Yeah, I don't know why. Make sure that you guys don't have anything else, like maybe close some of your tabs. Make sure the stream is the only thing you have open other than Classroom. I'm not sure why it's lagging like that. Rows and columns. Okay. So that means that for area, you have to take in two dimensions, the length and the width. So the length and the width. What did we do up here? Was there anything that was calculated up here? So does the 4 times 5 equal 20 give us any math solution? That's my next question. Because you answered this one. You said this one is correct because it's taking into account two dimensions. Now how about this one? What she started off with. Does this give us any type of math answer? Or was it just a random calculation? Yes. Yes, it does. So, yes. What does it tell us? It does. This is actually giving us math information. What math information is it giving us? It's not area, okay, because this one is area. This one is giving us what? Yes, Camila, nice job. P for perimeter. Good job. That's what's up. Good for you. Okay, that means that we can answer the other three areas, guys. I'll show them to you right now. Here you go. Number 2, number 3, number 4. Go. Each one of you give me one of the areas. Just tell me, number 2 is blank square units. Number 3 is blank square units. Let's see what we got. Anything? Nothing yet? I'll put them here. Number 2 is 9. Okay, let's see. Number 2, the square is 3. So Camilla's saying that area equals 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 square units. Okay, number 3 is 100. Beautiful. Good job, guys. Number 3, we have a square here with a side length of 10. So area equals 10 times 10, which is 100 square units. Don't forget your units. So, Dagny, do we write our answers in the task from that you assigned us? Not these, not the warm-up, but the task you have to complete. I'm going to give you information on that in just a minute. We're almost done here. So I'm waiting for number 4, the last one. Number 4, the side length for that square is 4. So can Dagny or Kevin give me the answer for this one? Area equals 4 times 4, which is 16 square units. Okay, good job, guys. That means that we can move on to setting up the task. Okay, so for the task, we're going to be looking at squares, but we're also going to be defining something at the end, and we're going to discuss that Friday. So today, I'm going to set the task up so that you know what you're doing. And then Friday, I'm going to look for volunteers to share their work so that we could discuss it. You should be submitting the work to me no later than Thursday so that I can grade it, and then we can look at it and discuss it on Friday. All right? So what I need you to do is in Google Classroom, I attached this assignment. This task is called from lesson 2, activity 3. It says the sides and areas of tilted squares. The sides and areas of tilted squares. So we did ones that were perfectly normal and didn't give us a headache. Now there's a twist. A big twist. Because now it's not so easy to count these boxes, right? So you're going to go on a little exploration, a little investigative work here. You're going to be detectives again. And I want you to notice that this has an interactive version online. So I want you guys to access it now to make sure that there's no issues with you getting there. You have the document that you're going to work with and fill out and submit on Google Classroom. However, I need you guys to go to open up resources. Like you would in class, open up resources.org. You're going to sign in as a student, 8th grade. So your 8th grade student, right? I told you guys that we're in Unit 8, so make sure you click Unit 8. I also said we're in Lesson 2, Activity 3. So it's labeled 2.3, right? Yeah. Activity 3. So it's labeled 2.3. So I need you guys to get onto that so that you can see the digital version, please. The digital version, right? So everything is pretty much normal in the task. Like this part is normal. The chart is normal. This is where it's the digital version. When it's time to graph, this is the digital part. So for the digital part, if you actually do it, then you can take a picture of that and attach it instead of filling it out on the document. But the table, this table here should be filled out on the document, and you guys could use Kami. It says complete the tables with the missing side lengths and areas. So side length S, area A. When they say use your geometry toolkit here to measure the side lengths, hopefully you guys have some rulers at home that you can use. If not, you might be able to print out a paper one. Once you fill out the table, you're going to have S and A, the side length and area. So then you're going to plot the points, which I really think would be much easier in the interactive version online. And then it says that it wants you in number 4 to use the graph of the table that you just entered to help you with the very first one. The very first one is this one. And remember, you're using a ruler or some type of straight edge to get the exact measurement on those side lengths. There should be some type of pattern that you can figure out after graphing this information to compare it to here. So we're going to see what you notice if you find anything out. And then number 5, you have not seen that symbol before. Well, actually, have you? Have you seen this symbol? Oh, so you have seen it? Would you tell me what you know about this, please? I'll put X there. Now, you guys tell me everything that you know about it. Tell me what you know about that symbol, please. Okay, it's okay. All right. So we have a couple of things here. Dagny saying that it's called the square root symbol, and that's true. Thais is wondering, I like that. So I'm going to change that from fact to question. I like that you're wondering about it. It's another way to multiply. Can you give me an example, Thais? So is it another way to multiply? And I'm looking for an example. Well, what are you thinking? Maybe replace this with something and tell me what you think would happen. And while she's doing that, does anybody else have a fact or wonder? And now that we know what to call it, we're going to just call it the square root symbol. Wonder about the square root symbol. So she said, let's see, another way of writing that is, I think, that's actually square. And they are very much related, so we're going to keep that up there. Inverse would be x squared. So far, so good. Where did you guys see this before? Just out of curiosity. Because I was assuming that this was the first time that you guys were seeing this, but it looks like you've done it before. So I'm just curious as to where you might have been exposed to this kind of math. Maybe an earlier grade or a certain problem. Miss Wainwright. Oh, okay, cool. Was it during intervention? Okay, that's really good information. I'm glad you told me that because not the whole class is actually in intervention, which means a lot of you guys probably have not seen it. For example, if you put a number in the root, think half of it, and then half of the number will be square multiply, will give you the number in the square root. Okay, so let's try it. Let's put a number in there, like one of the ones that we had today. One of the areas you told me was 16. So I tried to explain it. I don't know if that's right. That's okay, because remember, it's like a wonder, right? We're asking about it. I wasn't expecting you guys to know what this is. You're saying that if I take the square root of the 16, it's going to be half, and half of 16 is 8. So is this what we're asking? Is that what you meant? Because I'm hopefully I'm understanding you, and saying it correctly. If not, just correct me and I'll fix it on the board. Yeah, then it's 8 squared. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm actually not going to answer this question because I don't want to spoil the activity that you're going to do. I'm actually hoping that when you do the activity for lesson 2, activity 3, I'm actually hoping that you're going to be able to answer that question yourself. That would actually be really great. So we're basically done. I just need to know if you have any questions about what's expected of you by Friday. I went over the whole task. So just to quickly recap, this task is due Friday morning, and I need volunteers to allow me to share their work and talk about it with the class that attends the stream Friday. You're going to use a measuring tool like a ruler, some type of straight edge to get the actual side lengths of those squares. And they do want you to find the area. So once you find the side lengths, you do have to find the area. This problem is separate, whereas they give you a side length and an area, and they want you to find the missing value. So you guys have to tell me if you have a question about this. If you have a square whose side length is only a half, what would its area be? Well, based on the warm-up, I know you guys can calculate that. A half times a half is a quarter. Then on the interactive version or on the PDF, okay, in Kami, you will graph the table from the previous page. It's kind of like an X and Y. X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, but it's S and A. You have to graph that on here. And then there's a couple of summative questions that get you thinking. They want you to make connections between the graph and the very first one that you completed. They want you to make a connection there. Some kind of pattern, some kind of discovery. And then the discovery should help you to estimate what the square root of 45 might be. And that's exactly why I do not want to spoil this for you. You guys have a great question. You have a great recall of certain facts that you've come across in your math careers. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm hoping that the investigation leads you to answer that, as well as what the square root of 45 is approximately. Okay? Does anybody have any questions at all on that task and what they have to do? I'll stand by. If you do not have any questions, then we are done. And tomorrow at 2:30, I hope to see the people who still owe some old work or maybe have questions. If you guys end up having questions on the task, you guys can go ahead and join the office hour streams. You can ask questions and you could do makeup work. All right, so let me just put this down here at all. Any questions at all before you all go? Okay, if any questions come up, please reach out to me. I will do my best to respond to you as quickly as possible. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 2:30. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your participation. The class is not class without you, okay? So I can't thank you enough for that. You made the class what it was today, and the other students who watch this later benefit from it because of your participation. All right, and hopefully more people will participate. Tuesdays and Fridays are very, very, very important. They are our class times. Everything else is optional based on what kind of questions you have. Attendance, I have Kevin, Jacqueline, Camila, Thais, Dagny, and Ruby. If I've missed anybody, please let me know. Other than that, you are free to go. Thank you again. Okay, bye guys. Thanks again. I really appreciate it, especially your patience because of the lag that you experienced.